Welcome back, and today with the D Factory, we have Samuel Soria Santos, who's the CEO and partner at Parafina. Parafina is specialized in design and commercialization of sunglasses that are eco-friendly and social glasses. So welcome and thank you, Samuel, for being here.
Thank you, Martina.
Samuel, I want to ask you, because you're definitely better than me, telling about Parafina. What is your company actually doing, and what is your core vision and mission?
So in Parafina, since the beginning, we wanted to create eyewear to see a better world. That is our vision. With that vision, we developed the whole brand. What we do, as you were telling before, is we design, manufacture, and do distribution of eco-friendly eyewear with two clear missions or two clear attributes of the product, which is all our eyewear need to be eco-friendly and social at the same time. All our products are produced with recycled materials, like I have some samples here, like rubber coming from tires, or HPD is a hard plastic coming from bottles of shampoo, for example, or we use also organic materials as cork. With all these materials, we produce eyewear readers, blue light protection glasses, and also sunglasses, which is our main product. And we are social because we donate 5% of our net sales to a social program, which is a small school in the neighborhoods of Asunción in Paraguay. And that is our other part of the vision, which is to contribute with society, not only creating eco-friendly products.
You are a B Corp. And so the question is, when did you decide to become a B Corp, and what's the reason why you decided to start this journey?
So Parafina was established in 2015, and since the beginning we got many certifications for the product, like Green Leaf for Intertech or other certifications that certify our product and some processes, and normally like production. But since 2018, 2019, we began thinking of a certification that can help us to certificate the whole company, the way we do business, not only the product, not only maybe the transport or something related to human resources, but the whole company. And we thought that B Corp was the better option, so we began the process at the beginning of 2019.
How was this process? Do you find it as difficult, or do you think that was fundamental for speaking about even eco-friendly products?
So we were quite worried as a startup in the beginning to be a super hard process. But as we were born 100% eco-friendly and native eco, it was easier than expected. And we had to work a little bit on to write down internal processes, like regarding human resources and all that stuff. But all the production was quite easy. Everything related to the product was easy as well. And it took us like 9 to 10 months. To complete the process. So we were quite happy because a lot of people were telling us it will take 2 to 3 years, it's a nightmare, and so on. But finally, as we have a lot of the impact already measured for production, where we find the materials, our landfills, and all that stuff, was, I won't say easy, because it's a tough process and very in detail. But we didn't need to change a lot of internal things to be able to get the B Corp certification.
You also said that all the materials you are using for the sunglasses and glasses are made from recycled material. So I'm curious to ask you, where do you source this material from, and the production process, where does it take place?
Yeah, most of the materials are recycled, like 85%, 15% are biomaterial, like organic bamboo and organic cork. We source the waste, as we want to call it, because it's waste. You can give them like pretty names, but at the end we want to be transparent, and it's waste. normally from landfills in Southeast Asia, where most of the waste of the world is spread, no? Because even though most of the waste is produced in North America and Europe, we transport there because it's easy to keep it there. So we buy PAT mainly from Malaysia, aluminum from China, HPD from China also, and rubber from Middle East. And with all, bamboo comes also from China, where we have our own plantation, and cork come mainly from Europe.
So these organic-based products like cork are you're planting them or you're buying them. These are not wasted products, right?
Not the cork, because we mix like organic cork with recycled cork, but the bamboo comes from our own plantation in China, a controlled plantation where we use the minimum amount of chemicals to produce the organic bamboo.
That's extremely interesting. And how do you control this plantation?
Like there is a Chinese company, certificate Chinese company that deal with the plantation, and because one good part of bamboo is you don't need to plant bamboo every year. You can cut a piece and then the tree will grow again. It's not like other type of wood that you need to cut the complete tree. In bamboo is different because it's between a tree and a veggie, so you can cut a piece and will continue growing. So this company certificates the way they treat the bamboo.
So can we call it regenerative farming, or is it different?
Is it different? Because bamboo can grow in nature like wild, and this is a part in China where there are a lot of bamboo in nature, and we just treat them in a way, in an organic way, but it's nothing very like sophisticated that we plant the bamboo in a different way or something different. Yeah, the production is mainly done in China. All the manufacturing, we buy the lenses and then we manufacture everything in China, including the packaging, which is also 100% recycled. We think it doesn't make sense that if we take the waste or the raw material, the recycled raw material from China and Southeast Asia to move the production to other countries. In China, we visit all the factories before working with, or we used to visit the factories before COVID, before working with them. And I always say that in China I have seen the best factories in the world and not the best factories in the world, no? So in China, you can find super high-end, top quality factories that they can produce from high technology to super luxury goods to the very low-end production. So we are very happy with our partner in China. We have been working with them since 2016 for 5 years, and I think they comply even better than some factories in Europe with all the requirements.
So it's quite a long-time relationship. You always started with them and you keep going.
Yeah, and now that we cannot visit China is a super important issue, no? Not to need to change the supplier. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, because you're speaking about the importance of also visiting these factories. So the importance of traceability, being in contact with your suppliers. And we spoke about the B impact assessment, which is about measurement and transparency. So what's your company commitment towards measurement and transparency?
Yeah, since the beginning, as I was telling you, we were native eco, so we tried to be transparent since the beginning. It wasn't so easy as we got all the certifications, but nowadays we want to show the people that we produce in China where we find the materials. The process we use is upcycling technique, which means that from low-based raw material, we produce quite high quality products. And that process is quite transparent. We saw videos from the landfills, the material, the productions, and we are very proud to be producing the way we are doing it. For 2022, we are including on our website a project with Bitom, which is a Spanish company that measures the impact, the footprint, the CO2 footprint, and the use of water and other products in the production of the sunglasses and the readers. So when you will enter in 2022 to our product on the website, you will have the impact of the different product and the different impact each product has on the CO2 footprint, the usage of water, electricity, and raw materials.
In all the facilities where it has been produced, so your suppliers, right?
We don't give the name of the supplier. For example, we have give it to B Corp and to Intertech, but it's something we don't publish on the website due to competitors. No, we are very happy with our suppliers. We don't want to move from that supplier, so we want to keep it confidential.
I'd like to ask you, because it's extremely interesting, I think, also the fact that you are sourcing waste and you are upcycling it, because very few people know that recycling is very energy intensive compared to upcycling. So also the environmental impact, I would say, is lower, right?
Yeah, the impact is much lower. Also, we don't produce things that we think it doesn't make sense only to be green, no? And that is very important. I think companies nowadays, this is something that a lot of companies do, that is trying to be green, but also look green, but be green, no? Not only because it looks green, we can produce whatever. We don't want to use product that pollutes more than the raw material by itself, for example, no? So that's why we try to use recycled product that they are easy to recycle, like rubber or plastic, which its production is easy. We have some issues with paper because sometimes paper takes more energy to recycle it than to make it organic and throw it to do compost or whatever and to recycle it. So we have some issues with that. So we want to be very transparent in that way and try to use only materials that don't make a negative impact because you are recycling them. And if that impact is lower than the impact than the waste will be in the landfills, I think is good, but it cannot be the opposite.
Great. And what have been the most difficult challenge you have faced throughout this journey, let's say?
As I was telling you, something related to internal procedures, like human resources or like things in the office, because as a startup we haven't got so many manuals or something, lots of things written down. That took us a lot of time. Also some legal requirements regarding the company identity or some fiscal things. But the most difficult challenge was to score a high scoring. No, we wanted to be above 90. Finally, we finished with 89.3 or something like that. We were quite happy, but that was a big issue because a lot of B Corps, I think we score, or they score, I think we can include as a low scoring. And I think that here, our ambition and our aim is to increase that scoring, no? Sometimes it's difficult because the scoring is for all the companies the same, so you cannot score in some points because we don't do it. And as a company producing goods, it's not so easy, some scorings, but we are working on that and we want to improve that as our main challenge.
I think absolutely that the B Corp certification is the beginning of a journey because, as we all know, we can go over 80, but the objective will be to get to 200. And today there is no company that actually got to this point. And so, yes, we spoke about all the work you're doing. And I think that one thing I'd like to ask you that's extremely important is, why do you think other companies should become B Corp? Based on your experience, why do you think it's important to somehow commit to get the next step forward?
In general, or in some or in our industry?
Especially in the fashion industry and in your industry. So not only accessories and sunglasses, but in the wider fashion.
One thing I think is important is because it's not only trying to be green, it's showing the people that you are green, to begin the consumers to realize that there are options to buy things that they are good. Not only that they are fashionable or you like them, but you can like them and also they have something in behind, no? Second, because maybe the image of the fashion industry is not the best image it can have. There are some players that they have destroyed at some point of time. They are like, I'm going to the news and doing some scandals in the fashion industry regarding pollution, using a lot of resources with human resources policies. And I think having all this certification in the fashion industry, I think it could help a lot to improve the vision or the sense of the fashion industry itself. And also because most of the pollution of the planet comes from the industry, no? Also from transport and other industries. But the fashion industry pollutes a lot and we need to reduce that pollution. So being B Corp, I think, gives a company a more sense of doing things in a good way and help us to improve. And they score you, you can measure with another, you see best practices, and this, I think, can help all of us to improve. And if we improve the way we produce, we'll improve the environment.
Absolutely. And so then trying to support these companies that want to become a B Corp, 3 best practices you would like to share with other companies?
One thing we speak a lot is our social program. I think it's important to have an eco goal, but also a social goal. Could be very different programs, but to establish something and measure it also. So we donate 5% of net sales, not matter what product, what market, what company. So I think it's important to have a goal also on the social part and to be able to measure that part. And maybe another good practice is to try to have more track of what you do, no? Or be able to show what you do, track your processes to stop with greenwashing, no? So being more transparent. So that being transparent could be one of our best practice. Can reduce the appearance of greenwashing.
Absolutely. We all want to reduce greenwashing. And I think that's something really hard that also requires government action, because today there's no real law saying what is sustainable, what means to be green. And so that makes also difficult for the companies to really communicate in the right way what they are doing. And I think that B Corp is, among the many interviews we made, many companies said we wanted to be B Corp because we wanted to know where to go, how to go there, and how to say it.
Yeah, how to measure it, no? Because you can say, I'm doing good, but you don't have a scoring or something to measure it. Or I want to improve, how can I improve, no? I think it's important what we were saying before. We all want to improve, but we need tools to do that, no? Because then day-to-day business is always complex, and if you don't have like a timetable or a deadline or a scoring is always difficult, if not.
We at the ID Factory always say that you cannot improve what you cannot measure. And that's the reason why we wanted to be B Corp as well, because we also need to measure ourselves and be transparent and say, hey, we are here and we want to get there. How do we get there? We can set objectives, measure them, and make one step after the other. But it's easy to say about the best practices. The tough question of the day is 3 things you have learned to avoid becoming a B Corp and why you have to avoid them. Wrong practices to share.
Yeah, and the first one is to try to do many things. So at the beginning, we have too many materials, too many suppliers, too many different certifications. We thought they were good, but at the end, it was too complex to manage. So keep it simple, and we were not simple. Yeah, another thing will be try to get more relation with other companies similar to us. So sometimes we were afraid if we tell people what we do, they will take our supplier, or they will be doing the same as we do, blah, blah, blah. So maybe that is another point. And the third one...
The third one is always the most difficult because you already started it too.
The third one can be stop doing products and become a service company to get a better score.
To become a service company. No, I think we're going to cut this bit. No. Anyway, because we are a service company. So what changes would you like to see in the fashion industry in the next few years?
Transparency. Yeah, we spoke a lot about transparency, and I think it's something we need. Maybe an increase in prices, because to be able to produce in a better way, not be so focused on price, maybe a reduction of fast fashion. So maybe we don't need 20 t-shirts, but with 10 good t-shirts is better, no? So maybe that an increase in price due to an improvement in processes, an improvement in the reduction of pollution, and to make that possible, we need to change the way we buy, because it's impossible to pay €3 for a t-shirt and we want to be produced in a sustainable way.
Yes, that's a good point. So thank you, Samuel, for sharing all your experience and telling us about what Parafina is doing, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for your time. Very happy to do this interview. And please, if you need any help or you know any company that need to contact us, feel free to give them our contact details.
Thank you.